You can be one of those people who see it. You can sand it, paint, hang, and then stare, because we have a project for your inner fixer-upper. We will give you the confidence to spot potential in a simple wall shelf and help you make the small changes needed for a satisfying result. Handy Grammy Pat Stika is handing over the tools. She's going to hand them over to me a little bit later. And we talked about how the tools are important, having an eye for what you're looking for is important. But talk to me about that. Like, what did you go hunting for this project?
You know, I headed out to the Restore by Habitat of Humanity. I don't know if you've popped into one of those, but they're great. And I wasn't looking for a shelf at all. I was looking for some wood for this other project I'm working on, and I thought they might have something that would work. Couldn't find a thing, and then saw this shelf. It was $5, and it has at least $50 worth of wood in it. And I was like, a solid oak, 6-foot long shelf, and I was like, oh, I can do something with that. I definitely can. Now, it had a shape that wasn't necessarily appealing to me, so I did use these tools and, you know, reshape it a little bit and then painted it, and now I'm happy as a clam. It's right above that doorway in the kitchen, and I just love it.
Well, and I know these tools are so important because you talk about the good wood, and I talked to you about this last time you were here, because how do we spot to know if it's good wood?
Well, this was easy to tell. It was a solid oak. You know, oak is very firm wood, it's a very sturdy wood, but it's not necessarily in vogue right now. So I did paint it. But you can see a piece of solid wood when you look at the edge. If we're looking at this plywood right here, the edge looks like a sandwich of different layers. And that's great for plywood, it gives it a lot of strength. But when you look at the edge of a solid piece of wood, you're gonna see the grain go all the way through. So this one was an easy spot, and at that price, I couldn't pass it up.
Okay, so with this little segment, I just think we're helping people not be afraid of tools, because you're going to kind of show us the 3 tools that really came into play when you put together this shelf.
And I was thinking about it. I use these tools in all my projects. So
how important are tools like this? You think everyone should have them.
I do. I really think these are as important as a vacuum cleaner to your household, because you're going to have to hang a picture sometime. And if you want to get creative, a jigsaw is so fun and so easy to use, and you can make those nice shapes on things and alter something to really make it your own. And then a quick little palm sander like this makes short work of smoothing out a rough edge. So I think these are essential.
Okay, you heard him. You heard her. It's as important as a vacuum cleaner. Okay, so let's start and break these down. We're going to put on aprons so we don't mess up ourselves, right?
Good idea. Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, we're going to be safe. We're going to practice safety. We're going to be clean.
Yes. Make sure, oh, I brought you some goggles too.
Oh, good idea, because we're going to start with the jigsaw.
We're going to start with the jigsaw.
Okay.
I consider my glasses as safety glasses, so I'm not really needing any.
Okay, but what are we going to do?
This is a jigsaw. You pull that little trigger right there. And a jigsaw, I don't know why, I feel like I'm sewing on a sewing machine when I use a jigsaw. You're just keeping your eye ahead of the road, like when you drive, you're looking down the road a little bit, and you're going to follow that line.
And talk to us when we would use a jigsaw.
So I've used a jigsaw in so many projects. On this shelf, it had these points on it that I just didn't like. I like the rounded shapes right now. I'm not into big points. So I just rounded out. That's what I did. I used a little disc as a form, and then I rounded out the rough or the sharp edges. When I made Jasper's bed for Brittany, we put cornices in the corners of the bed. When I made that scallop desk that you and I looked at last time when I brought it up, I made little scallops on the front of that.
Yes, the scallops
That's right.
turned out so cute. So these are all things where you used a jigsaw.
Yeah.
And you said there's a trick to, you want me to cut the rest of this, but you said there's a trick. She's drawn a line along this wood that I'm going to try to follow, but tell me the trick that you think is so important.
Okay, so there's 2, you've got your blade right here, but then there's 2 level sides to the blade. And if you let those stay on the wood and hold it it'll help you hold it upright. That's what's going to balance it for you.
And then she said there will be a point here where I'm not going to be able to, and I should kind of push here.
Lean in there.
To make sure. Okay, I'm going to give this a try.
I'm ready.
Now, let me tell you the problem I have with jigsaws is keeping it smooth. Do you have any tips for that?
We'll sand it out with a sander.
Oh, okay. Oh,
you're
Mamma
okay.
Mia.
You're all right.
Okay. Oh, what's happening?
You have to hold this down.
Okay, okay. This is what she was saying.
This has to hold down level on the wood.
Okay, let me try. Oh, still doing it.
All right, let me take over. So
this is what happens. This is what happens when novices handle a jigsaw.
No, just always know you can exit the cut if you don't like what's going on.
I did good for about 5 centimeters.
Yeah. So you want this base to be right flush with the wood. Yeah. If you pull it up, then you're going to start to.
It's all about having that pressure, I think. And you have to put a lot of pressure.
You do have to use a little bit of root strength. Okay, so.
It's not perfectly smooth, but this is when the second tool comes in.
This is when a sander comes in. So this is called a palm sander. This is a 1/4 sheet palm sander. And I like them because you take one big sheet of sandpaper, cut it into 4s, and then clip it on. The problem I have with the orbital or round sanders is they're all hook and loop. So you put a piece of sandpaper that they've manufactured with Velcro on the back onto the orbital sander, but sawdust will get in there and then they slip off.
Okay.
And so this clamps on, and that's why I prefer them.
Pat says this is the time to go for it.
I just think it's
And this
easier.
just smooths out all those ways you maybe didn't do it exactly perfect.
Right, right. So you just turn this on. You want to round the corners a little bit. And we're just working it till we like the smoothness that we get.
And then, like you said, the last one is just the drill that we're going to need a million times to hang different things. And how do you like how that shelf, you said you're happy as a clam with how that shelf turned out.
Yeah, I am. I really do think it was great. So to drill a pilot hole, say you're hanging a curtain rod, or in this instance I was hanging a shelf, or even if you want to hang a picture that's kind of heavy, you drill a pilot hole with the drill, and that's just as simple as pushing down and going in. And then one trick you should know about a drill, if you haven't used one before, is every drill has one of these. It's a little slide that goes back and forth. And when you're drilling in, you want it to go clockwise. And when you're pulling out, you push it the other way and it'll come counterclockwise. So you drill your pilot hole, and then you're going to put in your screw or possibly your flange that holds the screw, and that's what makes it secure.
So just 3 simple tools are going to help you so much. They're as important as a vacuum cleaner. Grammy, where can people find more from you for the novices like me who need a little help?
Handy Grammy. I'm on Instagram. I have a TikTok. I don't overpost. You don't have to worry about getting deluged. I only post when I'm ready to go with something. So that's really fun. But I've just really enjoyed it. And this is a chance for you to love something that you can repurpose if you find an old shelf like that, or make something creative all on your own. Like
Fantastic.
I'll probably turn this into a little corner shelf.
A little corner shelf. Perfect. Thank you so much, Pat.
You're welcome. Good to have you.